How's it going, everyone? SalmonPink here, and would you look at this? My Games of the Year video is being released in the right year this time around. Shoutouts to my 2017 video and all 21 views of it, half of which were me. Oh, the narcissism. No, wait, come back, I swear, it's worth your time! Anyways, what a year it's been. Okay, I know that's the stereotypical thing to say at the end of the year, but I wouldn't be saying it if it weren't true. But honestly, after the amazing lineup of games we got last year, I didn't think 2018 would be there to follow it up. But month after month, I found myself being captivated with all new and upcoming games. From major releases to games that flew under my radar, 2018 had so much to offer in the world of gaming, and I'm quite glad I got to experience what I did. So, here I am again, making a video to give recognition to all the games that made an impression on me and why I enjoyed them as much as I did. Whether they're in bite-sized play sessions or multi-hour binges, all of the games on my list are worth playing. Now, before this video becomes a video on its own about me waxing poetic about games, let me cover one thing before I get started. Everything expressed in this video are my opinions. There will be some of you that don't agree with the placement of each game in my list, or the games I choose. That's fair. There will be some of you that think I'm biased towards what games I pick. Of course, I'll tend to gravitate more towards the games I like, and the same goes for pretty much anyone. And then there will be some of you that like Detroit Become Human. Actually, wait, no, that's just wrong. Relax, that was a joke. It's 2018, you're free to like what you want. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm just a fan nerding out on the internet about games I like. It's just my opinion. But I want to keep this open. Was there a game I missed that you enjoyed? Let me know in the comments, or give me a shout on Twitter at TheSalmonPink's, and we can talk games. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. Number 10. To call the 10th spot on my list the dark horse would be somewhat controversial, but I feel like this game did fly under everyone's radars. Starlink: Battle for Atlas is a space exploration action-adventure game where the players traverse the Atlas galaxy system and interact with all that it has to offer. The core gameplay involves exploring the planets, aerial and grounded combat, solving puzzles, completing quests to improve your relations with the locals of each planet, and much more. The game has a handful of RPG and RTS elements, and a wide variety of weapon and ship modifications, skill trees, and real-time events and encounters. But before I go any further, I need to address something very important. This is a Toys to Life game. Yes, if you buy any of the physical editions of the game, you will be very limited with what weapons or equipment you'll have available to you unless you go out and buy additional toys or the rest as paid DLC. However, if you purchase the game as a digital download, you'll be given many more ships, weapons, and equipment to play around with, and in my opinion is the best way to play the game. All that being said, the game really is a lot of fun. The character cast may seem pretty cookie cutter at first, but they are fleshed out in the game's story. The combat is fun and engaging, and encourages the player to find the different ship and weapon combinations to best fit the variety of enemies in the game. The different planets are all beautiful and thriving with their own flora and fauna. And if you get the game on the Switch, you'll have access to Fox McCloud as a pilot, the R-Wing as a ship, and a Star Fox side story. I'll be completely honest here, I played through the entire game with Fox and the R-Wing. It was pretty darn cool. Overall, this game gives me a nostalgic space age vibe, and it really scratches that itch well. If you find yourself craving some space exploration, maybe give Starlink a try. The dev team at Ubisoft Toronto did a really good job with this game, and I'm quite proud of putting this one on the map. Number 9. Ah yes, there's nothing I love more than a JRPG that I can sink 100 plus hours into, and then later complain that I have no time to play anything else. Lucky for me, Shining Resonance Refrain kept me on the hook for all it had to offer. It has action-based battles through player-initiated encounters, plenty of strats and equips, gathering and crafting, support conversations, and ridiculous character dialogue that sounds like something right out of an anime, but is also strangely entertaining at the same time. Although, the one thing that makes the game stand out from the rest is how it's themed. From the weapon designs, to the naming of the in-game mechanics, to the very title of the game itself, music is a core theme of the game. Most of the main cast wields a special type of weapon called an harmonic, a play on the musical term harmonic, that doubles as an instrument that they can play. This works as the resonance mechanic, where you and your allies will tend to do better in battle if you stand closer to each other, or more specifically, by standing closer to the soul of the shining dragon that is sealed within the main protagonist, Yuma. That's right, dragon protagonist! You can even transform into the shining dragon mid-battle for some awesome dragon attacks. In essence, you'll do better by resonating with your teammates. I admit, it is quite cheesy when I say it out loud, but I absolutely love it. Oh, and one more thing. See this gauge on the left-hand side of the screen? It's used to give your team special buffs during battles, and it's called the Battle Performance Mana, or BPM for short. Nice! Shining Resonance Refrain is a really fun RPG, and definitely worth playing for those interested in the genre. Sure, it's no Xenoblade, but it doesn't need to be, since the English voice acting in the game is absolutely fantastic. That, and you can enjoy the main character being a dragon without having to buy the game 3 separate times. Number 8. The subject of games being art is always a difficult topic, as it begs the question of what elements make up what we can consider art. Is it something that the artist creates, or something that the viewers interpret? Well, lucky for you, I'm not going to be dissecting the concept of art here. I'm by no means an expert on the topic, but instead, I'll be telling you why Tetris Effect is art to me. From the start of the game, you're treated to a show of lights, colors, and sounds that will grow and evolve as you continue to play. Every area in the game has its own theme and effects to go with it, which gives the game a sense of worldly adventure and discovery. Will you explore the deep of the ocean amongst the sounds of the creatures that inhabit it? Or soar through the sky with the sound of wind and propellers at your back? Or a night in a metropolis to the sound of free jazz? As you rotate and drop each tetramino, sound effects will play to perfectly match your game. This in itself will guarantee that every single time you play, you'll be treated to a different experience. The game sports the tested and true gameplay of Tetris, but this time around gives it a spin with the zone mechanic. As you build up and clear lines, you'll increase the zone gauge, and when you activate it, you'll stop time as well as tetraminos from falling to either get out of a rough situation or clear even more lines for some high scores. It's quite amazing when you think of it. As you're playing and finding all the perfect places to set up your tetraminos, you sort of get into a groove, almost a trance-like state where you stop thinking as much and just go with what feels right. It's almost as if you're in the zone. Funny how that plays out. Tetris Effect might not be for everyone. It's an exploration of both video games and art, but it is also like nothing else out there. It's both a return to form, but also an abstraction of it. Sure, puzzle games might not be for everyone, but you never know what surprises will wait for you next. Because it's all connected. Number 7. Gosh, call me a sucker for the classics, cause this one just tugged at my heartstrings from the very moment it was announced. Octopath Traveler. What a name too, eh? The theme of the year must be returning to the roots of why we love games, because Octopath Traveler delivers the classic turn-based RPG experience that a lot of us grew up on. It features 8 protagonists, each with their own goals and aspirations, and you can freely choose between them and see how their stories intertwine. The music is easily what you'd expect from a game like this, but is still full to the brim with the spirit of adventure. But one thing that stands out for me above all else is the graphical style. The visuals are quite reminiscent of the 16-bit SNES era of games, with the key difference here being how beautifully crafted and rendered everything is. To use the terms the developers coined when first describing it, it truly is HD 2D. Everything from the player and the enemy sprites, environments, animations, and visual effects are all gorgeously rendered in-game. It gives all the dungeons, towns, and characters a strange sense of familiarity despite not knowing anything about them from the offset. As far as combat goes, if you've ever played any of the old Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy or other turn-based RPG games, you'll be right at home here. In combat, you also have a boost point command where you can save or spend BP given as 1 point at the end of each turn. It's similar to the Brave mechanic from Bravely Default, where you can spend these points to power up your attacks or use multiple actions during a turn. And while enemies don't display their health bar unless you take a turn to analyze them, the color of their name will change from white to yellow to red depending on how high or low their total health is respectively, which is quite nice during the game's long and challenging boss fights. Octopath Traveler is an absolute treat and utter delight of a game. If you're looking for a great turn-based RPG that will let you relive an era of the classics while having the precision and polish of a modern game, I would urge you to give this game a try. It won't disappoint you. Number 6. Okay, I need to make a confession about the next title. When it was first revealed, I thought that the new SpiderMan game for the PS4 was gonna be pretty bad, much like a bunch of the previous SpiderMan games that came before it. And yet, here I am now putting it at number 6 in my Games of the Year list. Talk about a reversal of expectations. Let's swing right into things, shall we? Right from the point where you start the game, you get a short cutscene packed with a bunch of Easter eggs for longtime Spider-Man fans, and then you're thrown right into the game. The first thing that you learn to do is swing around, and wow does it feel good. You get a short combat tutorial against some generic baddies, and then you're off to take on Wilson Fisk, all within the first 10 minutes of the game. Both the combat and general movement in this game are smooth and intuitive. The game is also open world, and after going through the tutorial, you'll have access to pretty much the entirety of Manhattan Island, New York to explore. The one metric I always hold to any game that boasts an expansive open world to facilitate gameplay is the quality and feel of the movement. My go-to example of a game that does this well is Gravity Rush, although I'm happy to say that Spider-Man does it just as well. Honestly, there really isn't much else to say. You'll unlock different suits, combat skills, and movement abilities as you play, and they're all a blast. Peter Parker's witty commentary throughout the game is also quite entertaining. If you're bored and looking for a fun action game to kill some time, why not give Spider-Man a try? You might just be pleasantly surprised with how great it actually is, just like I was. Number 5. Before I get to number 5 on my list, I need to take you all on a trip to a moment in my top games of 2017 video. In the end, it seems like there will be no plans for Monster Hunter Double Cross to be localized, but having played it for just over 200 hours on the Switch, I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again if it was. I love this series to death, and I can't exclaim enough how much I want the West to have this game. Here's hoping that sometime in the future, the West will see a true release of Monster Hunter on the Switch. Now, fast forward to the morning of May 10th, earlier this year, when myself and other fans of the series would be in for a pleasant surprise. Oh no, they didn't. Oh no, they didn't! Oh, this isn't happening! Oh my god, they actually did it! They actually localized Monster Hunter Double Cross! Oh my god, no, I can't! The hype is too real! No! I'm gone! Goodbye! I have not been more excited for a game announcement in my entire life than I was that morning when it was revealed that Monster Hunter Double Cross was being localized as Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. And yes, I have the, quote, same game, unquote, on this year's list as I did last year. Doesn't matter, it's the localized version, so it counts as coming out this year. Now, I'm pretty sure you can tell from the excitement in my voice that I love this game. Even having played Double Cross for over 300 hours, I was still more than ready to jump back into the game when it launched on August 28 later that year. And you know what? To this day, I've sunk just over 200 hours into Generations Ultimate, and I'm still not done. There's a reason they included Ultimate in the game's title. It's not just to sound cool either. This game has it all. Small monsters, large monsters, deviants, elder dragons, 27 unique maps, 6 hunting styles, 180 hunter arts, 8 prowler types, literal thousands of armor and weapons to choose from, local and online play, collaboration DLC quests, and so much more. I could keep going, but I think you get the idea. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is exactly what it sounds like. The ultimate celebration of Monster Hunter as a series. And if you're a fan of Monster Hunter and haven't got this game, what are you waiting for? And if you aren't a fan but are still curious about what it's about, there's a free demo on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Why not give it a try? Well, that's all I've got to say about it for now. Happy hunting. Number 4. People of Earth, lend me your energy! Ah, now this is a game I can get behind. Dragonball Fighters Z. Wait a second. It's pronounced fighters? Fighters? Huh? Well, somebody toss me a senzu bean, because I don't know how I feel about that one. Well, regardless, this game is so cool. And surprisingly, this is going to be the only game on my list where I actually watched more than I played of it. Now, do let me elaborate. I love how this game has come together. Firstly, I want to point out how true the game is to its source content. There are countless comparisons online showing how the movesets of each character have been carefully crafted, and the attention to detail is just incredible. The developers did their homework when making this game. They even have Krillin's rock throw, which is hilarious. But let's talk about the gameplay. The game is energetic and fast-paced. You play 3v3 tag team battles with a bunch of fan-favorite characters from the series, and even more being added in as DLC. While veterans of the 2D anime fighter genre will feel right at home, the game also sports an auto-combo system to help out young budding Saiyans so they can get adjusted to the game a lot quicker. Although, once you do get some training done in the hyperbolic time chamber, you'll find that your combos will do much better than the auto combos, giving the players incentive to get better at the game. If anything, I'm just really impressed with how the game came out. It is a lot of fun watching pro players and tournament play, and to see how hyped the sets get. And while I don't play it as often as I'd like to, I love everything about this game. Dragonball Fighters is definitely the definitive Dragon Ball game, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Number 3. Okay, can we talk about Castlevania for a second? This series is really awesome, and it's had a great deal of influence alongside the Metroid games in shaping my childhood and my fondness of the Metroidvania genre. But lately, it's been quite lacking, to put it lightly. I mean, the most recent Castlevania game to come out was Lords of Shadow 2 back in 2014. And while that game might not have been received so well by critics and a portion of the fanbase, I really did enjoy it. Since then, it's been pretty bare bones, if you pardon the expression. Although, seasons 1 and 2 of the Castlevania Netflix anime have been phenomenal, and I would highly recommend taking a weekend to watch through those if you can. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. Oh, wait, 1 second. I got a message from one of my friends. A new Castlevania? Huh. Let's check it out. Oh, this looks pretty cool. Nice graphics. I wonder who that is. Oh, wait. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What have they done?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost.
Enter Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. This is the game that you've been waiting for. Or should I say, the game leading up to it. This game is actually a stretch goal for the upcoming game Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Curse of the Moon was developed by Inti Creates and overseen by Koji Igarashi, the man who launched the Kickstarter for Ritual of the Night, or better known as the father of Castlevania. Now, just because this is sort of an appetizer game, let me be the first to point out that it is much more than that. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a brilliant recreation of the classic Castlevania action-adventure platformers of old. You can play as multiple characters that each have their own abilities and sub-weapons. There are multiple endings and difficulties to the game, which are great for subsequent playthroughs. Each of the stages have branching paths with their own secrets to discover, upgrades to collect, and a unique and challenging boss at the end of them to put your skills to the test. The game has a genuine difficulty to it too. While it isn't as hard as some older games, I certainly got my fair share of game over screens. Also, are you hearing this music? Wow, this is a killer soundtrack. Every single track on this game, along with all the sound effects, are just outstanding, and dare I say it, a classic. Another thing I love is how accessible this game is. You can buy it on pretty much every modern console, be it Nintendo Switch, 3DS, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox One, and Steam, and it's only $10. The only downside, if you can even consider it one, is that the game is pretty short. I beat my first playthrough in just under 2 hours, but honestly, I think it's fine, because as soon as I was done, I started it again at a higher difficulty and routed the maps differently to see what other hidden treasures the game had to offer. The quality of the gameplay alone even warrants multiple playthroughs. I'm even considering it for my next game to speedrun. Hey everyone, Salmon Pink from the future here with a quick update. As of the time I'm uploading this video, Bloodstained is actually on sale on Steam right now, so what better time to grab a copy? You don't even need a high-end computer to run it, as the system requirements are pretty low. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Anyways, back to the video. I'll always hesitate to use the term since I never want to throw it around carelessly. But to the very fullest extent, I can say this with confidence. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is a masterpiece. And now that you know about it, you have no excuses not to play it. So next time you go out and get that grande matcha latte with soy milk and 10 scoops of matcha powder, consider keeping that change and grabbing a copy of this game. I am so happy to see this series blossoming and teeming with excitement for Ritual of the Night. Here's to a successful launch. Number 2. Colors weave into a spiral of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. Okay, who's hyped for Smash? Hit the music! Do I even need to explain this one? If you're watching this video, you most likely already have the game and know exactly what I'm gonna say about it. But of course, I'm gonna say it anyways. Everyone is here! And everyone is playing it too! For the past couple of weeks while I've been working on this, every time I jump onto my Switch to play some Smash, I see a ton of my friends list online too, also playing Smash. This game is so much fun! The moment I got my hands on this game, I could not wait to play every mode and unlock every character, listening to all the music and see everything that the game had. And the game feels so good. Inkling, Daisy, Incineroar, Simon and Richter Belmont, Chrom, Dark Samus, Isabelle, King K. Rool, Ken, Ridley, Piranha Plant, Joker from Persona 5? What a legendary lineup of new characters, and that's not even all of them. Who knows what other DLC characters will be announced in the upcoming months? I could keep going about how great this game is, or how World of Light is actually quite difficult, or how unique each of the spirit battles are. But for this one, I want to get right to the point. Mr. Sakurai and his team poured their hearts into this one to make sure everything was just right, and to that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all your hard work to make this game. Thank you for making a game that everyone can enjoy. Thank you, Mr. Sakurai, for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Honorable mentions. Just before I get to my game of the year, I want to list out a couple games that really impressed me but didn't make this list, and some that I never really got around to playing that I still liked. God of War. Another game that really surpassed my expectations. I still really want to play through it, and everything I've heard from my friends who have it just makes me even more hopeful for what I do when I go around to playing it. Soul Calibur 6. While I've never really played any Soul Calibur games before, I really enjoyed playing this one. It's really easy to pick up and surprisingly fun too, and the character customization is just incredible. Mega Man 11. Congrats to Capcom on Mega Man 11. Yet another game that returns to the roots of what made the series great in the first place. Here's hoping that it keeps the series coming strong for the years to come. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna: The Golden Country. Okay, I know this is technically a DLC, but it did see a separate standalone release from the game, and you can play it without owning the base game. Also, it's just more of everything we love about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Kirby Star Allies. I still need to get through this one, but wow, have I loved all the updates and extra content they've added to it. So happy to see DeRoche and Marks have joined in for the fun. Dragon Quest Builders. Okay, this game technically released in 2016, but it was ported to the Switch this year, and I did play a lot of it too. I was pretty surprised. I was never really a fan of Minecraft or Minecraft type games, but I really enjoyed that all this game had to offer. The Messenger. What an awesome retro-themed action platformer. Nice, and the game's art style is really beautiful too. Number 1. Sisters and brothers of the Fifth Fleet. It's time. I'll keep my farewell brief. Never was much with words. Once you board this ship, there is no turning back. The next ground your feet will touch will be that of the New World. If any of you have lost your nerve, then step away now and let no one judge you. Very well, then sail safe and strong, and may the sapphire star light your way. Every generation, there comes a game that redefines our expectations. One that reaches out beyond the scope of its fans and into new and uncharted waters. It'll usually take a lot of risks by starting anew from the ground up, but also keeping the core of what made it great to begin with. It'll explore a lot of new ideas and themes, and do so without fear of failure. For it is those who are driven by the stars that bear the spirit of adventure. Monster Hunter World is nothing short of exceptional. Never have I seen a series of games see such an outward acceptance and growth than with this game. Friends and peers of mine who have never touched a Monster Hunter game in their life were showing interest in this series because of this game. Series veterans and longtime fans would finally be getting the long-awaited next mainline game. And above all else, it would be accessible for everyone, being available in 13 languages and also being the very first Monster Hunter on PC. Let me say that not only is the base game just extraordinary, all of the free content updates throughout the year have been incredible as well, adding the fan-favorite monster Devil Joe, the siege of the brand new Elder Dragon, Kulve Taroth, the reintroduction of Lunastra, who had not appeared in a game for nearly a decade, the very first crossover monster, Behemoth from Final Fantasy, as well as the addition of new armors and weapons for all of them. Not only that, but collaborations with several other games as well, such as Mega Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, The Witcher 3, and so many more. And if that wasn't enough, Next year, a massive expansion will be released for the game in the form of Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Now really is the best time to be a monster hunter. With all that we have now, and all that we have to look forward to, there couldn't be a better time to start. And more than anything, Monster Hunter embodies the spirit of camaraderie and teamwork. It's about working together and growing as a community. I, for one, will always be happy if anyone shows interest in the series, because it's something I can share my appreciation of with other people as the series grows. For this, and for everything else, Monster Hunter World is my game of the year. Stay safe out there, fellow hunters, and may the Sapphire Star light your way. So, what do you think? 2018 has been a fantastic year, and we have all these great games to play, with even more coming next year. I'm still super excited for Metroid Prime 4, and can't wait to hear any more news about it. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe and warm, my friends, and I'll see you in the new year. Until then, this is the Salmon Pink signing off. Have a good one.